our first inductee, a pioneer in the sports science field.
Dick Telford's contribution to Australian sport is most notable in sports science, but he has excelled on and off the field. In Australian rules football, Dick won the J.J. Liston Medal for the best and fairest player in the Victorian Football Association. For 3 years he was coaching coordinator and manager of Victoria's Sheffield Shield team, twice winning the Shield. Dick coached Olympic marathon silver medalist and Commonwealth Games gold medalist Lisa Martin-Ombeki, and Commonwealth Games gold medalists Andrew Lloyd, Kate Anderson, and most recently Michael Shelley. As head of psychology at the Australian Institute of Sport and as director of the project titled Lifestyle of Our Kids, his research has greatly advanced our understanding of both athlete performance and health. Along the way, he has written more than 100 articles for scientific journals. Tonight, we further honour Dr. Richard Telford, PhD, AM, and induct him into the Sport Australia Hall of Fame.
Please welcome Professor Dick Telford to stage and to present to him the champ, Robert De Castella. Congratulations, Professor. I was reading your history and you played a game with Collingwood, a couple with Fitzroy, and I'm guessing there wasn't a sports scientist in the house back in 66, 67.
I think you're right, Hamish. I remember when I was coaching the Preston football clubs, the football club and the cricket club, that we had, I was the coach of both those teams, of course. And because we were in the finals of the football and I was coaching pre-season in the cricket, I took my cricket gear out to the football ground and changed from the football gear into the cricket gear out in the middle of the ground beforehand. There was no such thing as sports science in those days.
Well, even when you became the first sports scientist at the AIS, I assume you were seen at that point as sort of the wacky sports science guy. You were outnumbered. Now, the sports scientists almost outnumber the athletes.
That's true. Sitting down, I always remember in 1981 when Don Talbot, out of the blue, came and asked me to head up sports science, sports medicine at the Institute of Sport. And I thought about it for a few days. He only gave me 3 days to think about it, and decided to go up there for a year. It's been longer than that now. And I sat down in a small room, well, I remember, with green carpet, with a desk, no chair, a laboratory with one bike in it. I thought, what the bloody hell am I going to do here? And we'd won 5 medals, I think, 4 or 5 at Montreal. And in Sydney, when institutes of sport blossomed all around the country and headed off by the Institute of Sport in Canberra, we'd won 50-something medals. So that sort of made me pretty proud as to what the coaches had done. Coaches like Pat Clohessy, who coached Rob De Castella, and Rob was actually the second person that I ever employed at the Institute of Sport. I'm glad I was nice to him because he came back as director of the Institute of Sport. He was my boss. And I'm glad I let him out for a run.
Was there an individual or a team that you thought you changed the career of in your tenure more than any other?
It's funny, a lot of little things sort of that crop up later on that you don't realise that you do. And in my game, I know it was mentioned I was a psychologist, but I'm not by any means. I'm a physiologist, but that's interesting because the sort of things that we used to measure in the laboratory could break or make an athlete. You know, if a young athlete's coming in and I can say, honestly, he knows or she knows, I'm not trying to motivate them, but she or he knows that what I say is probably what is, you know, because it's been scientifically measured. And I say, wow, I think you've got a fantastic engine. You could be doing a hell of a lot better than what you're doing now. that is coming from a physiologist, and the psychology of that becomes very, very important. So I've noticed a lot of people, once they do get that sort of information, they can, it's almost like running the first 4-minute mile, where once someone did it, Roger Bannister, John Landy did it, one of our greats. And then others did it after that. It's just believing in oneself, you can do it, makes a lot of difference.
I've been told by John Bertrand and all the committee to ask no more than 2 questions. I think I've asked 5 at this point. I'm going to let you go, but I will leave by saying it's wonderful to have you and congratulations on being a Hall of Fame member.
Thanks very much, David. Yeah, thank you.